Hello all and welcome to lesson 3 in your free computer training series. And as usual, I'll mention quickly in the beginning that if you're watching this video on YouTube or another video outlet and you haven't yet subscribed to our free training program, make sure and shoot over to beyourownit.com, and there's plenty of places to sign up. It's completely free and you'll be able to get access to the email support and our email training videos, as well as conference calls and all sorts of other great stuff for members. And being a member of the program is completely free. So if you're not a member already, make sure to join. If you know anybody that might be interested, please help us out and help them out by sharing the word. So lesson 3 is a lot about spyware, prevention, understanding the root of it, and why it exists. And really, I believe that it really represents a transition from many people that used to spend their time creating viruses, monetizing. It's far more profitable if they can figure out a delivery system to deliver these pop-up ads and all sorts of other things like that. So once you got money involved, the number of spyware programs and spyware infections far exceeded what I've ever seen with viruses. I think in my years behind the bench, I would say as many as 2 out of every 3 computers that were brought in had at least some spyware on their computer. Viruses were never that bad. And again, I believe, if you ask me, the reason is the money that's involved with the clicking on banner ads and people getting tricked into buying things and all sorts of things. It's happened to everybody knows somebody. It's happened to my parents got tricked into buying something, and believe me, in the computer repair shop days, I saw plenty of people. So this lesson talks a little bit about the history of spyware and understanding why it is what it is, and gives you some best practices to avoid getting it. And the real value of this is actually the spyware removal guide. Following this will, no joke, repair 99% of spyware infections. This is exactly what I do 5 days a week on 10 computers a day. This is the same process over and over again. It's proven over time. It works even when I do remote computer repair for people. We used to offer remote computer repair on our website, and so I do that for customers, and this is the exact same method I would follow for them. It talks about how many spyware removal tools to use. I don't recommend running more than one at a time, but sometimes you need more than one to clear an infection. It's just the nature of the beast. I usually use Spybot and Adware. Sometimes I'll use Malwarebytes, all sorts of things. So with spyware, you have to get tricky. The biggest tip I can say is don't bother trying to do anything from regular mode. Always try to scan and remove anything you can from safe mode, and in this guide I talked to you about how to get into safe mode from any operating system. So Vista, XP, 2000, 98 ME, if you happen to be one of the small percentage of people that still have those. And the reason safe mode's important is a lot of spyware and virus infections, for that matter, run in the background and interfere with their removal. So the only way you can actually typically remove the entire infection is by using safe mode. So once you're in safe mode, the spyware can't run or the virus can't run and be counterproductive, and you can typically clean everything off. Then once you've removed it, you always want to reboot the computer, make sure you have all the latest updates for your antivirus and your spyware removal software, and scan one more time for good measure, because sometimes there's a few little things left over. Safe browsing habits. There's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as free software. As a best practice, I would always recommend, if you're downloading anything free, go really slow through the install. Make sure you look. Don't just click next all the way through quickly. And what'll end up happening is you'll get a bunch of toolbars installed, and those are probably worse than spyware. In some cases, because I've seen some computers with 15 toolbars running. As you see, I have one, but this is the SEO book one. This is the one that I chose to install, but Yahoo toolbar and a whole variety of other ad serving toolbars and things like that get installed. So it's also important to learn from your mistakes, right? And understand that getting spyware or getting a spyware infection is something that most people can't avoid. I mean, I get spyware now and again. I just try to keep a best practice scanning maybe once every other week, maybe once a month. If you're looking at a customer's computer or somebody else's, it's best to keep those programs handy. I have a CD with the latest versions of Spybot, Adaware, AVG, and Malwarebytes that I just keep around. Or you can also use a flash drive in some cases, just so you have the programs to install. So it might be worth, even if you don't have it now, if you don't have any problems now, is I provided links out to download these programs and they're all free. You might want to download them, just throw them on a CD, because sometimes you get the spyware infection is so bad you can't even connect to the internet. And when you find yourself in that situation, you can't even get to any of these programs. So, sort of as a homework assignment, I would go out and download these programs. They're all free. Uh, Update, get the latest updates, and give your system a scan. Also, I'd make sure you burn them to a CD so you have them in an emergency situation. Just keep it somewhere safe and keep it labeled. So I expect this lesson to have a lot of questions, and I'm here to help. Spyware is tricky. It's something we all deal with. And I wanted to introduce a little bit more. I'm sure later in the lessons we'll get more detailed and talk more about specific spyware types and how to prevent certain things. But I also know that the scan takes some time, so it's good to start a scan maybe before you go to bed or before you leave for work or early in the morning. Sometimes the scan will take hours. But as always, please remember, submit your questions to support@bureauinit.com, and we'll take all the questions you have, as well as any video requests or lesson requests. We're aiming for 100 lessons, probably 200 by the end of the year. So we could always use ideas and things that you guys want to learn. So I hope that you've enjoyed it. I want to let you know too to always make sure you check out our ebook. It's free, and our other roughly 100 training videos that we have for people to view. So thanks for listening, and as always, make sure you submit your questions if you have any.